All right, so today we're gonna get into seven seven sneaky ways narcissists try to isolate you. And this could be from so-called friends, a toxic parent, even a manipulative boss. Narcissists don't want to love you; they want to own you. So let's try to, go through this and see how they try to cut you off from your lifeline support. One of the first things they like to do in situations is subtle smear campaigns, right? Before you even realize what's happening, they're planting seeds of doubt about your loved ones. They'll say stuff like, your cousins always seem jealous of you. I don't know why your friend acts weird around me, right? So they're trying to create the division and the separation beforehand, right? And they're not outright attacking it, but they're working behind the scenes to poison the well. That way, when the fallout comes, they already turned you against your support system. And the game plan for you is to keep your ears open. And if they're constantly finding fault with people you love, that's a red flag, not a favor. It'll look like a favor, like they're looking out for you, like they noticed something that you may have never noticed before, and they're just pointing it out because they're looking out for your best interest and they don't want anything to happen to you, or because they love you, or whatever. It can sound genuine, but it's actually a tactic. The second thing, the us against the world illusion. And at first, that could feel like deep loyalty. The nobody gets us like we get each other. We don't need anybody else, just me and you. It sounds romantic or loyal, right? It sounds like that, but that's how cults operate, not healthy relationships. And narcissists romanticize isolation so that they can control the narrative without outside influence or input, right? Once they start saying these things and they're getting you to doubt the people that's around you and making it seem like it's only because they're looking out for you and they would expect you to do the same thing for them, it seems like this person's ride or die. They're really looking out for me, and you may not catch it. But the real point in this is healthy bonds thrive in community, not isolation. So when someone's trying to move you away from a support system or from away from people you love, that's manipulation. That's something more sinister brewing under. The third one is overstepping under the mask of help. This is one they love to do, right? They start doing things for you like answering your calls or forgetting to give you a message, right? Or speaking for you on your behalf when you didn't ask, right? It'll be something like, oh, I told them you couldn't make it today. Or I handled that for you. You didn't need to worry about that. And when you start allowing, many of you start doing that, you start allowing them to engage in your personal business and affairs on your behalf, not knowing what their objective is behind the scene. Right? And it seems thoughtful until you realize they're managing your life without your permission. And they're sabotaging it along the way. And you had no idea. Right? You overlooked that totally. Because it seems like your partner's really involved with you. These things can go unnoticed, but they're actually solidifying their position of control over you. So what do you watch for? The difference between help. Well, there's a big difference between helping someone and hijacking a situation. They're hijacking you under the disguise of being helpful. And if you don't realize this, you'll fall for it every time. One of the four things, the fourth is fake victimhood to drain your time, right? They create drama that requires your full emotional attention and sometimes physical. This is another game they play. I'm just so broken. You're the only one who understands me. You can't leave me right now. I'm in a dark place. Or you see how messed up I am right now. How could you just ignore me? This is emotional hostage taking. And it keeps you too busy putting out their fires to check in with your own people or even yourself. Right? They're keeping you fully dedicated and committed to them. Right? Full time. And this emotional hostage taking keeps you in a situation where you become paranoid about making sure you're tending to their needs properly. So you have to stand firm. You're not their therapist. You have to set them boundaries in place and stick to them. The fifth thing is control disguised as concern. Right? This is a big one they do a lot. A lot of manipulators use this one a lot. And it's like, for example, I don't like you going out with them. They're a bad influence, right? They'll say it's something about them. Sometimes they won't even have a pinpoint. It's just something about them. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I don't like. Just something don't sit well in my spirit with them. And they're going to say spirit because there's no way to fully interpret, or there's no type of gauge to read and authenticate the accuracy of whatever that is, right? It's left open to personal interpretation. They'll say something like, that job is taking too much of your time. You're so stressed at that job. You're starting to be more stressed out. Now they're putting things in your head, right? Making you feel as though you're identifying, to identify with the issue. And it sounds like they care, but the real pattern in this, they want you smaller, quieter, and more available to them. See, you shine too bright, and it inflames their insecurities. That's what it's doing. And because they're insecure, they have to manage how you move. So they'll plant the seeds of concern, like genuine concern, but it's really just control disguised. And so what you have to do is, understand your independence threatens their control. You have to understand that. So if you're being a certain way and you've been operating efficiently at that level for a while, and they're trying to shake that up, it's because it's threatening to them. 6, a big one, is that triangulation. They'll bring a third person, real or even imagined. They can make somebody up totally to manipulate the connection. When you hear people, a lot of people do this. They'll say something like, even your sister thinks you're selfish. That may not even be true. Even your brother, cousin, whatever, feels that way. So-and-so treats me way better than you do. Right? Now you're on the defense explaining yourself, and they've created competition where there shouldn't even be any. That's the classic divide and conquer tactic. right? To make you feel like, well, someone, or they'll try to use someone in a position of authority to say that they agreed with them, to make your decision inconsequential overall to the situation. And that's a big thing that many manipulators like to use to get things to go their way. Remember, all of this stuff boils down essentially to control. So for you, don't compete, call out the manipulation and stand on it. The seventh and final thing, silent treatment and ghosting games. Yeah, I call it STNG games. Silent treatment and ghosting games. And that's when, you know, if you pull away or you start having resistance, they punish you with silence, or they disappear all out together, then reappear like nothing happened, right? And this hot and cold dance that they do conditions you to crave their approval and fear their absence. That's all it's about. It's how to train you to depend on them emotionally, right? That's all it is. If you cannot give a care and you're not even bothered, or better yet, when they pop back up, you tell them you can go back where you was. I ain't even studying you, you know, because it's a tactic. All of these are tactics to emotionally manipulate a person to giving in to their control. And the reality check here is love doesn't feel like withdrawal symptoms. You have to think about that. When you're being played, if you're falling in love genuinely and it's real, you're not gonna have withdrawal symptoms from it. Real love feels safe, secure, peaceful, blissful, right? So here's the bottom line. Like, narcissists isolate you to break you, basically. And because a strong, well-connected person is harder to manipulate, don't fall for the trap. You got to stay sharp, stay connected, and don't let anyone make you feel crazy for seeing the truth. You gotta keep that in mind. You have to be able to understand that. So if this hit home for anybody and it resonated with you, you know, give a share, give a like, definitely. And if you want any one-on-one coaching with me, my email and all of that is in the description. Shoot me an email and I can get you information out on how to go about doing that. Until next time, stay well, folks. Take care of yourselves and have a good one.